now we have some viewer mail.
We have mail?
Yes, we do.
Good, I'm glad for that. If you have a question, send to Doug at riskandrewardtv.org, and I'd be happy to answer your question. What do we have this week?
This is from Jennifer in Philly.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you.
And she writes, the last few jobs I've applied for were either lateral moves or step down since I'm eager to transition to a new position. I have gotten feedback.
There's a lot of people that want to get out of their job.
I have gotten feedback from several employers saying I was either too qualified or that I was too outgoing to fit in with current staff. I'm not entirely sure how to best modify either my interview style, personality, or my background to just get the job. Can you help? I'm simply at a loss.
Well, okay, so I don't know if I can help or not, but I've got a few ideas. See if these ring true with you, and if they do, go for it. Give them a try. First one is address the previous feedback during the interview so they can't use it as an excuse. So right up front, if you know you're overqualified, say, is this going to be a problem? And therefore, they can't say it later that that's the problem, because they're obviously say, oh, no, that's not a problem. If they say it's not a problem, then they can't use it later. I think a lot of these people are just being polite because they don't want to hire you, and they're saying the boilerplate statements that don't get you mad. I mean, they're not saying, you know, gee, I'd love to hire you, but you're annoying as all get out. I can't possibly work with you. They're not going to say that. They're going to say something that's more stereotypical. I don't think you should change who you are. I think there's lots of problems with that. So if you're outgoing and that's not going to fit with the company, you're not a good fit, you're not a good fit. That's fine. But if you change who you are for the interview, get the job, and then go back to who you are, because you won't be able to fake it all the time, that's trouble waiting to happen.
You're not going to be happy.
You're not going to be happy, they're not going to be happy, nobody's happy. So I don't think you should change who you are. I think you should be who you are and find a good fit. A couple of other things that could be the issue. There could be insiders in some of these jobs that already know who they want to hire, and you're window dressing.
Very typical.
Very typical. They already know who they want to hire. You're window dressing. You come in. You've got good credentials. They looked at all these people, and then they still hired this one. And so, you know, the more skills, more enthusiasm, better ideas. You know, who's going to hire somebody who will eventually fire them for incompetence, right? So they don't want somebody like that. Or a lot of people don't. I also think it's a numbers game. Now, if you're looking for your ideal job, it clearly isn't. If you sound like you're trying to just find a job. So I think it's a numbers game. I think you should send out every application you possibly can. I think you should get on the phone as much as you possibly can. Sending things out on the internet is a waste of time. Not a waste of time, but not very good. You need to talk to people. You need to talk to as many people as you can. Don't think a couple of applications and a couple of interviews. Think hundreds. I want 100 interviews. I want to talk to 100 people a day. I want to have 100 interviews a month. You know, whatever it takes. If you overdo it, then double it. You're more likely to have success. So, you know, part of it is just hard work. And in fact, I tell all my students that came through my college course and stuff, how do I get a job? And I go, well, you work harder at getting a job than you would ever work in the job. And don't tell me that
that's working pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that you know I can't get a job. Well, you can't get a job when you're spending an hour a week on it. That's not the idea. Spend 100 hours a week on it. Talk to everybody. Pick up the phone and talk to a million people.
Network, pound the pavement.
If you're working that hard, you will find a job. I have a good friend of mine who said, I'm getting a job. He moved to New York. He said, I'm not coming home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm finding a job, period. And he knocked on every door he could in New York. He eventually found a job. Nice, big, fat, 6-figure job, too. So, you know, he wasn't going to give up. He just started calling everybody and everything, and he wouldn't give up. He was dogged about it. And that's what you should be doing.
And what's your takeaway?
So my takeaway is when you get bad feedback or none at all, just consider it their loss. Keep moving forward. And increase your pace and your intensity. You know, all you control is you. So go like crazy. In this market, more effort equals more results.